From the Times and the Sunday Times, this is The Story. I'm Manveen Rana. A few weeks ago, my colleague Emma Kirwan was on the phone trying to book a driving test.
We will book your test for you, and after getting the confirmation email that you have your test has been booked, then you have to pay £260.
That's fine. Because I already failed once, and I just can't. Even the stress of going through it again, it's just all...
But Emma isn't talking to the proper government agency. She's talking to a scammer.
I have a person, by taking some bribe, he passed people. If you want, I can talk to him about your matter.
Scammers, like this man, have spotted an opportunity. With the driving test system in crisis, struggling to cope with a record-breaking backlog, people are desperate to find a booking. And in this year alone, the public has already been conned out of £134,000 paying for driving test slots which just don't exist. So what's the government doing to ease the crisis? And how did Emma meet and confront her scammer? The story today: the scammers selling fake driving tests.
I do drive, thankfully, because I wouldn't want to be dealing with everything that all these learners are having to go through at the moment trying to get a test. But what made me want to start looking into the situation is because so many people that I personally know are struggling to get hold of a driving test.
Emma is a reporter at Times Radio, and as she trawled through social media, she realised that this was a much bigger, nationwide problem.
So I thought, let's deep dive into this and see what the issue really is, what people are facing, and all of their struggles along the way.
And just briefly, what did you find?
I found that scammers are thriving because of this backlog in driving tests.
How did you go about finding one of these scammers when you realised that this is suddenly really fertile territory for the scammers to go in? How do you go about spotting one?
I joined loads of Facebook groups under an alias, and people would flood these accounts saying, I can't get a test, can you help? And then in the comments, it would be atting various other groups saying, this person's legit, they can help you get a test. And I contacted so many people who were mentioned. And then I get a WhatsApp message. And it's from a number with the name on their WhatsApp as DVSA instructor. They're saying that they can book me a test.
And do they give you any hints in that message as to how they've managed to get access to these slots?
This person didn't, but when I was in the kind of early investigation phase, when I was on Facebook and messaging as many people as I could, they would be quite open, a lot of them, and I would say, I'm just really struggling to get a test. How are you doing it? And a lot of them would say there's an issue with bots booking up slots. So AI kind of software, which is programmed to sweep up all those slots. There's also the issue of driving instructors in some cases booking up slots as well. Dodgy instructors who have been profiting off the backlog, offering inflated test slots.
So they book them all in advance, and then they basically create a black market where they ask you to pay a bit more than you would for your ordinary test.
Exactly.
And get it off them.
The ordinary test is about £62, and what they're offering is hundreds of pounds.
Oh, okay. So there's a proper profit margin there for the instructors who are block booking them. But then in the midst of all of that, it's not just people who are bots or instructors who have block booked them in order to make a profit. There are also the scammers. And you managed to get hold of one, and you've got them now WhatsApping you. What happens next?
I replied a couple of hours later and basically said, yeah, I'm interested. on his WhatsApp, he's got a profile picture, which is of a certificate saying DVSA grade A approved driving instructor. That's the top grade that they can get. So he's got very good credentials and he's called Wacky Ahmed. So that's the information I have of him. So I'm thinking, yeah, let's go with it and see if he can actually deliver on getting me a test slot. And he jumps on it straight away. So he just calls me. So he's like, okay, I can offer you a test slot wherever you want.
We will book the test nearest to your postcode address. I mean to say that any centre which is nearest to your postal code address.
I tell him I'm based in Kent, and I say that I need to pass my test really quickly because I've been offered a promotion at work. He's not bothered about that at all, to be honest. But what he was interested in is telling me it would cost £260.
We will book your test for you, and after getting the confirmation email that you have your test has been booked, then you have to pay £260.
That's for a test slot, which, as you say, would be £60 if you went through the official channels.
Yeah.
So he's already making £200 on that.
Exactly. And I'm saying I'm keen, but I am still nervous to part with my cash, but I'm in a predicament because I do need to pass my test. Because I already failed once and I just can't. Even the stress of like going through it again, it's just all... And then he just drops an absolute bomb. He says, well, are you asking for services of if someone can help you pass your test no matter what?
Okay, you mean to say that you are looking for someone who can help you passing your test, right?
Well, I just desperately need to pass. I'm just really stressed out by it. He's really excited by, my stress levels.
Can you tell me which city you belong to, which is your town, so I can explain you the things if we have somebody over there?
I live in Kent, so in Gillingham. And he says, well, for like 560 quid, I know a guy who can look the other way.
He takes some bribe. By taking some bribe, he passes people. If you want, I can talk to him about your matter if you need these kind of services, but he charged like £562, including booking and test.
As long as you don't hit someone when you're driving, he'll pass your test.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe what he was saying.
That's not just profiteering off a test slot. That's proper corruption. That's passing somebody who isn't in a fit state to pass.
That's exactly where my head went. And I just said, I'm not going to get into trouble for this, am I? I'm not going to go to jail, am I, if I give a bit of extra money?
No, come on. Why you are talking like that? You're going to go to jail?
And he actually laughs. He's like, well, of course not. Why would you go to jail? We're doing this all the time.
I mean, that's a hell of a conversation you've just had. When you get off the phone, you've seen his display picture showing that he's a driving instructor with the best qualifications. Is there any way of checking that?
I went back online. I did as much digging as I could. I was doing my searches, and even when you put the name Wacky Ahmed into Google search, it immediately came up with a driving school.
You found a person who is offering you not only black market rates on test slots, but potentially a completely corrupt version of a driving license. And now you think you've tracked him down.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, because I am I've passed my driving test already.
Yes.
I was stumped because we thought if I went ahead and tried to book a lesson with this Wacky Ahmed, he's going to want to see my license. And then my cover will be blown. Obviously, nothing is going to link up. So we thought, who could we bring into the investigation? And my colleague, who's also a reporter, he's called Nick Allaby. He is a learner driver. So I sat down with him and said to move on with the investigation and to identify whether they are the same people, I need your help. So Nick gives him a call and he said, I've been really struggling to get a decent instructor. Can you help? He says, yeah. And he goes to meet him.
How does that play out?
Nick just said he just seemed like a nice guy. He dangles a load of carrots we kind of discussed what I'd said to my Waki Ahmed about how desperate I was. And the idea was to relay a very similar story.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I'm really desperate. I really need to pass.
See if he can offer any shortcuts.
Yeah.
And does he?
He doesn't. He says, well, until the government sorts out this problem of the bots booking up slots and all the other issues that we've discussed, it's going to continue and people are going to keep, not being able to get their test.
What are you thinking at this point? Because the man you think is going to be, corrupt, you finally have a meeting in person and he doesn't seem to be.
Now we're thinking, right, we've got 2 recordings. We've got my secret recording and we've got Nick's. We need to sit down, go through them together and find out whether we think that they've got similar voices.
Yeah, is it the same person?
Yeah. We were on agreement pretty much straight away that we didn't think they were, but we then kind of ran it through AI as well. That also agreed that they were different voices. So we put 2 mini recordings in and scanned it, and it said if it came to greater than 0.8, they are the same voice, and ours came out at 0.7.
So this is AI that is running a voice test on both the samples you've given it to work out how many similarities there are.
Yeah.
And it says there aren't enough.
Exactly.
So this isn't your man. What do you do to work out who the man is that you've been talking to?
We decide that we need to follow through with the scam. So I set up a call with my Waki Ahmed and I organised for a cyber expert to be secretly on that call during it. I wanted the cyber expert to get involved because Waki Ahmed, who I was speaking to, told me that I would receive a booking confirmation via email. So I wanted the expert to be able to investigate in real time whether that was a legitimate booking or not before I parted with the cash.
What I'll do is I'll mute him or say, can I put the phone down? And then I'll chat to you so he can't hear, just in case you need to walk me through that. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, right.
So you set up this call.
I'm going to give him a try now.
He's simultaneously monitoring the system to see if this man is making a genuine booking for you. Talk me through that call.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, it's been a long time that you have not replying me, so I was thinking maybe you are not interested in it.
Yeah, it's been hard to try and find a time to do it, hasn't it?
Immediately, Waki Ahmed is saying, right, you're ready now.
So just tell me, are you willing to do that now?
Yes, I've got the information. So what do I need to do now? Give you the driving licence?
So I'm on the phone with him and I'm texting him information. He's telling me he's inputting it. I can hear that he's getting things wrong.
Okay, it's ELLE
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
8092. Hold on, let me write it down.
You said I just needed my... Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me find it for you. Hold on.
And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not sure that's right. And doesn't seem to be a priority to kind of make sure everything is accurate. So I provide my email address and he says, right, I've sent you the booking confirmation now. And I say to him, Waki, I can't see the email.
Nothing's come through yet?
No, it will be there now. Just check it again. Just refresh it.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I've sent you it. And you can hear him getting agitated. And then the cyber guy says, check your junk.
It went in my junk for some reason.
Yeah, maybe because Hotmail sometimes create problems. You must have to provide me the Gmail one. Gmail is the better one.
So that's already really suspicious. At this point, I just say, I want to chat with my husband about it.
One sec, sorry, I'm just trying to have a look at it. I'm just asking my husband, I'll just be a tick. Right, download EML.
Okay, have you got the email or not?
I've got the email, I'm just trying to have a look at it. I'll just be one sec.
So we mute Waki. And then we get the cyber guy. And pretty quickly, the cyber expert comes back and says, this is fake.
How does he know?
It's come allegedly from a gov.uk email address, but the O is a zero in the email.
Oh, so it's G0V,
Yes.
not gov.uk.
Yeah, but if you're, as I am, in a 10-minute window
Yeah, in
of
a
needed,
hurry.
you wouldn't necessarily see that.
So your cyber expert has worked out that this is actually looking more and more like a clever scam rather than a corrupt driving instructor. What do you do?
I say, right, we need to out him. I mute the cyber expert and unmute Wacky Ahmed, and I say,
Hi, Wacky.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's not come from the DVSA, has it?
But I have sent you the screenshot as well of the booking.
I've been told that is not a legitimate email.
Who told you? Just tell me what's the proof that it's not legit.
I've got a cyber expert who's just had a look. I'm a journalist and I know that you've been scamming people and you've been taking their money.
Okay.
and he's immediately defensive. He just wants to speak to the cyber expert.
Whoever is your cyber expert, just tell him to talk to me and prove me that it's a scam.
And I'm well aware
How can he say that?
that you have been scamming victims.
Something that he noticed that this is the thing, that's why I'm saying that it's a scam. How can he saying it?
But I just keep saying the same thing. I know it's a scam. We've got the proof.
Why are you profiting off people who are trusting you to book their driving test?
Look, we are not scamming anyone. If you want, I can even cancel it for you, and you will receive the cancellation email as well.
And eventually, he says, I don't want to speak to you anymore.
What would you say to the victims? Are you sorry?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, he's gone.
And that's it. That's the end of the call.
Wow. And no money has exchanged hands.
No.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And did you ever find out who he actually is? Because clearly he's not Wacky Ahmed, the driving instructor with very impressive credentials. Who was this man?
Sadly, I haven't been able to find that out. The last bit of communication that I've got with him is him WhatsApping me saying, this is why I don't trust people.
Oh, God.
I
As
think
if it's
he's-
your fault.
Yeah. And then blocked. But that is, the concerning part, that he's able to keep doing this.
Yeah, so he's still out there and still potentially scamming people.
Yeah.
Did you follow it up? I mean, did you notify the police that this was happening, or Facebook and all the places where he's advertising?
When we had confirmation this guy was a scammer, we went back to the real Wacky Ahmed. Nick told him, I am a real learner driver, but when I did that lesson with you, it was because I was a journalist and trying to figure out if you were involved in the story that we've been investigating. We don't think you've done anything wrong. We know you haven't. But we need to let you know that your identity, your legitimate credentials are being used by a scammer.
That must have been pretty shocking for him.
He was naturally really concerned and shocked, and all he immediately thinks he can do is call the police. So we're under the impression that he's called the police and notified them about this.
So that's a case of identity theft, and presumably if the police know, they might look into what the scammer's been up to. What about Facebook? What about all the places where he's operating? Did you follow that up?
I did find one of the Wacky Ahmed that I was speaking to. I found one of his victims, and she told me that she's reported the Facebook profiles and has been blocked and reported to Action Fraud, which is the official advice as well.
And tell me about her, because obviously you were pretending to be somebody who was about to be scammed, but she probably was. Well, how much did she end up paying?
She paid the £250 and she was heartbroken. She was in need of wanting to pass her driving test because she wanted to take her children to school, and said that she couldn't book one legitimately, and she turned to Facebook groups.
I did not know the rules and regulations. I even did not know the actual price of the test. We planned that money that we have to invest this on your driving test, on your instruction, and it's like ripping you apart. Like, I'm clueless now. What should I do now?
Which is the stories that we keep on hearing and exactly what I experienced.
This really does have a real-life impact on people's lives. Just explain, like the woman you were talking to, why this is happening so much more now.
The government say that all of this has really stemmed from the pandemic. It's a backlog from the pandemic, and they're trying to sort out that. And I spoke to the chair of the Transport Select Committee as well. She's called Ruth Cadbury. And she said if Glastonbury is able to prevent bots from booking up slots and selling those tickets at hugely inflated prices, why isn't the government able to do the same? A government consultation on the issue of the reselling and the bots has recently closed, so we're waiting to see what comes out of that. But the situation's got so bad that actually by the end of September this year, there were more than 668,000 people waiting to take their practical driving test. That is a record backlog, suggesting the situation is getting worse, not better. It's a 15% increase compared with the bookings a year earlier.
Wow. And do we have any sense of how many people are becoming victims of scams because of this? Do we have any sense of how much money is being made by the scammers?
Well, I contacted Action Fraud, and the latest figures that I've obtained from them show that victims paid out more than £134,000 in the first 8 months of this year. And within that, between January and August, the amount paid out has actually tripled.
And Emma, what do the Driver and Vehicles Standards Agency, the DVSA, what do they say about this? Will they be able to do what Glastonbury has done and do something about the bots and make the whole thing faster and more efficient? Or is there any hope on the horizon?
A spokesperson from the DVSA told me that gov.uk is the only way to book your practical driving test. They're urging people to report to the social media channels that we mentioned of any unofficial test slots or bookings. They're saying that any test booked outside of their booking site could be a scam. They're saying they've got a special team that are actually monitoring the use of the online booking service. And if anyone is caught breaking the rules, they will be given a warning notice. They will suspend their account and close their account if it does become a huge issue that they're aware of.
And just finally, given that a lot of this is now about the scammers who are taking advantage of that inefficiency, did the cyber expert give you any advice on what to look out for, how to know if you're being scammed?
Yeah, be aware of being rushed into making a decision. Keep an eye out for any typos. Just take a step back, really, and before you make any rash decisions, and to report anything to Action Fraud.
That was Emma Kirwan, a reporter at Times Radio. The producer today was Olivia Case. The executive producer was Kate Lamble, and sound design and theme composition were by Mal Assetto. Thanks for listening. We'll be back, as usual, tomorrow.